Welcome to a muzzled chat. Jiminy Crickets, was that a bit too loud? Well, that's how we should kick off today's episode. I'm kind of feeling like representing this shirt a little bit. Another amazing shirt from Black Eagle Apparel. Just saying, go check them out. Get your own. Get an Unmuzzled Chat t-shirt. I've been going through so much freaking information today. It's like my mind is just a bit overwhelmed because the floodgates have truly opened and all the information it's there. There's all this open source. It's just there for the taking. And I'm really trying to provide solutions for those that aren't wanting to see with their own two eyes and hear with their own two ears, and to their benefit, to their health, to their sanity, to their futures, to their freedoms, to everything, to living free lives. The corruption is so bad. It's bad. Like, really bad. Quite honestly, I am disgusted as to how actually evil these individuals are. It's hard to even imagine, to be honest. But as bad as that actually is, and as bad as the corruption has gotten, it genuinely feels just as disgusting that so many folks want to turn a blind eye, don't want to do their due diligence. We've had so many things blatantly smack us across the side of the face. I don't even want to go through the examples. Frankly, I'm exhausted in this moment in time going through all the examples. I've queued up some pretty powerful clips for this episode as to how much I'm going to be able to effectively attribute to be determined, right? I'm just blown away. What are we freaking doing? Now let me throw it out there to my Unmuzzled Chat warriors. I know you know I'm not ripping into you here. I applaud you. Once again, I know you get it. I hope to provide you more powerful seeds to plant and to spread, to create that momentum we keep speaking about, and that, yes, is taking place. I mean, we're building momentum right here on this podcast, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your support, and thank you for continually showing up. But once again, what are we doing? It's like, do we enjoy being slaves or worse? Yes, there's absolutely worse, like being preyed upon and our children being preyed upon. Haven't we had enough? If only we could open the eyes for people to see. I believe everyone would be at their precipice, wouldn't just accept how things are, and we would unify to our betterment. Folks just only have to see it. That's it. Is that too much to ask of folk? I mean, come on. It's not only my future or your future, it's to their benefits. We're not the only ones impacted. It's everyone. It's the ones in the know. It's the ones not in the know. I'm just really saying the obvious here. I just so badly want to see us seize this moment. We could do such beautiful things together, come what may. I mean, anything else in this life other than that, once you see how bad things are, is like, I just can't imagine doing anything else. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's fix it. I want to thank everyone that showed up to this podcast so far. Whether you're bearing your testimony, talking about your business, the warriors especially, let's continue to share their stories far and wide, support our veterans in active duty. True heroes, true leaders, and I'm honored to have them and anyone on this platform that has a story to share, has the kahunas to share it. We are not to fear backlash. Can we admit to ourselves how weak of a person we would be to be that fearful, to not openly speak out on your story and the truths you've come to acknowledge and see in your own life? We need more leaders right now. We need more people to stand up and stand strong. Maybe through that, we can open up enough people's eyes. Well, let's continue on here and try to open up some people's eyes. Let's try to motivate us all, like that spark. I mean, truly, it is so far past time that we wake up to the reality of things around us. So much of our history was written to enslave us. It is wild. And there's nothing conspiratorial. It's just, you can't even take that stance until you really start looking into things yourself. Anyone that would pedestal and point the finger conspiratorial at this point, I see as an insane person, a lazy person, a fearful person, because they're not willing to do the research. They're scared of what they may find. It's just weakness and insanity. Hacked, sheeple. You know, when it comes to talking to those certain individuals, I try to be a little less irksome and a little more respectful. But cutesy time truly is over. And it's time to really get this ball rolling. Kick my foot up here. Buckle up. Let's go. This gal's impressive. It's pretty cool. As she talks about it, I almost want to slow it down. She goes through this pretty quickly. So for you, maybe just play it back a few times. She does a good job kind of bringing the feelings that were felt and what we just went through. And this is what I love and really value. She doesn't just leave it into like the pandemic. She transitions into the bigger picture, and it's so awesome. So why am I still talking? Let's go.
I wasn't wrong. Do you remember when they closed all the gyms and the churches and the small businesses for your safety, but left open fast food stores and big box corporate stores and liquor stores because they were essential? Do you remember how when the kids did eventually go back to school but had to wear masks, but were told that they could play their full contact sports, but they had to wear masks during those sports in order to keep themselves safe? Do you remember?
Child abuse.
Remember that? Do you remember telling people how ridiculous that was? Remember how you tried to tell people and all you got in return was called names and shunned from society? Remember how confused you were in the beginning? It was like a switch flipped, and everyone around you suddenly had what you now know is called the fluoride stare. Just overnight, people who had the most common sense, just everyday normal people, now suddenly were fighting people in Target because those other people weren't wearing masks. You remember that? Remember how fucking gobsmacked you were? Do you remember how when you finally did find people who thought like you did, who understood how this whole thing just seemed really, really off, but they were too afraid to stand up with you because they did not want to be publicly shamed?
And that's still happening today, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Vindication's everywhere. It doesn't matter the whole I'm right. I could care freaking less. I just want to see people see things clear enough that they're just breaking out of their own box. Socrates said it. There is one good knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. So we got to stop being ignorant, but more than that, with our knowledge. And you see, why would we play into the system that has ramped up the talking points to / put us in fear, but we know we're based in truth. I'm in a mood. I just feel like yelling. I don't think I'm going to be able to articulate some thoughts very well today. I'm just kind of in a yelling mood. Maybe it has to do with, I don't know, I've been cooped up in the valley a little too long. It's time to get out in nature. We clearly are being bombarded by signals. I've been researching that more, and it is insane. They're literally microwaving us. And I know that's not helping because it puts us more so in a fight or flight. It makes it harder for us to even communicate because it'll be easier even for you as a listener to take offense to something than rather be like, oh, I wonder if there's any truth to that. And because it's just easier. The offense gives you that personal excuse no longer to do your homework. Just chalk someone up to be whatever. And you miss like this great opportunity. But I also feel it could be the downright freaking heat we're dealing with here in Arizona. And anytime I mention heat, it's freaking Arizona. What else do you expect? No way, shape, or form am I supporting the climate freaking hoax. Are you kidding me? We've blown that up 3 ways to Sunday. And there's more and more that is coming out as part of the flood, just obliterating the rulers' hoax. Because in ways, one of their other backups to put us in that smaller box and rule over us, and just don't even get me started. Now I'm acting like an insane person, like I'm interacting with you. Maybe I should start doing lives. You let me know what you think in the comments below, if that's something you'd look forward to. And if so, what days, what times we could start considering scheduling that in. All right, let's continue.
2 weeks, so they just agreed with the masses in order to avoid that uncomfortable conversation or confrontation. Do you remember that? Do you remember the moment that it first dawned on you how quickly people would line up to protect the very system that was blatantly lying to them about everything to begin with? How absolutely vile and horrific those people got. Right. But then do you remember when the next variant came and it was a little less? And then when the next variant came, it was a little less. And then when the next variant came, it was almost nobody. It was almost like watching a garden blossom. Slowly but surely, all of the flowers started to open. Remember when it was understood that newest variant, latest variant wasn't going to work. And so they immediately switched to the war in Ukraine within 24 hours. And it took a few minutes, but the people eventually caught on and they started to revolt. They started to push back. When the Ukraine narrative started to fall apart, they went straight after Israel. And that took a little longer, but eventually we got there. Revolt.
But we got so many people still wrapped up in that. There's still treasonous Ukraine flags and these other, like, we have work to do. All of us. This is truly when you see how evil, how demonic, the ones essentially orchestrating all of the circus and shenanigans in fact are. It is a table flipping moment, and they're preying on your heartstrings, so many of you as Christians, to turn the other cheek and be tolerant. It is not more loving to be tolerant, especially in a table flipping moment. This is a wartime. Eventually, it's not just going to be a smoke grenade you're turning the other cheek to. It's an actual round that puts you down, and there is no more turning the cheek. We got to seize this moment. 5th generation warfare is no freaking joke. And there's so many things to touch on, and we've gone over so much of it. Those plans are being furthered along, and they're becoming quite effective in a lot of these strategic angles of attack. And I don't see us properly fending off much of any of it. It's just being more so understood kind of vastly, But that's where you and I come in. Let's save the day. Okay? Together. We need more momentum. We need more shares. We need more thumbs up. Click the thumbs up thing. We need more comments. We need more engagement. Let's fire things up. Let's go. If you're in, let it be known. Say, let's go in the comment section. Say, I took action today called Patriot Mobile. Lead by example. Your comment could influence another person, and just so many. These are just small snips and examples, but clearly there's millions of options. Millions of things we could be doing. I'm in a way, and I'm finding myself as a chatty Cathy, not even getting through the content. Let's get back to it.
Revolted for various different reasons, but revolted all the same. Do you remember how they're trying to scare everybody with the bird flu? How it was being spread to cows and then spread to people, and how your meat could be contaminated? People went out and bought chickens. They supplied themselves, their families, and their communities with eggs and chicken. They're actively doing it now. There's a whole side of TikTok dedicated to it. Remember, by the end of this, when all big pharma was exposed for who they really are and what it was really about and who was getting paid and how much per jab, it trickled down from the vid to other medications. People are actively advocating for themselves when it comes to the things that they need medically. They're not just blindly following along. They're reading through side effects thoroughly. Who makes the medication, how much money they make, what other things that company's invested in. Remember in the beginning when everybody was screaming about save the children? And now Hollywood's fallen, and every single person in this country is fully aware of the problems that we have in regards to human and child trafficking, whether they believed the conspiracies or not. They are aware.
I sure hope and pray they are. But I don't understand as to how someone could be fully aware and yet still support Disney. How someone could still be fully aware and watch, what are those award shows with the freaking pedos and false idols of Hollywood? So they still tune into that, or they still tune in and support the actual actors and actresses that have been provenly directly connected to those rings, even music artists. So it's like people are aware that it's a thing, but they're not educated. Let's help educate them. That's going to be a challenging episode. We've geared up quite a bit. That's part of the sickening evil side, how children really are being preyed upon so horrifically you can't even imagine, with adrenochrome and what's going on. Literally like organ harvesting. The worst. So those episodes may be selectively for, not for everyone, but we can't be ignorant to how bad things are getting, folks. It fires me up. I genuinely help us be more effective here, because in this moment, I kind of want to step out of studio and try other courses of action. If I'm being frank, I don't know what to say. I'm sure you could tell I'm in kind of a way here. My gosh, can't even get through a 3-minute clip here without wanting to scream in the mic.
And how that made victims of child and human trafficking comfortable enough to come out and share their stories and to seek help, which in turn then helped other victims of human and child trafficking. Do you remember when I told you the story about the Federal Reserve and how it was created during the height of typhoid fever? Now the dollar is failing. The very thing that keeps us a slave to the establishment. There are lots of rumors that it's now going to be backed by gold and silver again. I'm not wrong. It's just slow. And my biggest fear is that not everybody is going to make it to the end. Wrong. But better days are coming. I'm not wrong.
I don't believe you're wrong either. I also believe not everyone's going to make it. Now, this gentleman does pretty good, and he really brings it home in the end. But way to expose the actual defects and exposing the corruption. Let's just check it out.
What if only black people voted? Well, everywhere would be Democrat. What if only Jewish people voted? Everywhere would be Democrat. What if only Hispanic people voted? Everywhere would be Democrat. What if only Asian people voted? Everywhere would be Democrat.
Generally.
What if only women voted? Everywhere would be Democrat. What if only men voted? Everywhere is red. Everywhere is Republican. What if only white people voted? Everywhere is Republican. There's a racial aspect to this that they recognize, that they understand, that the only group concerned about limiting government power are white males. That's why they're being targeted. That's why we are being targeted. They'll write articles with that headline, demographics are our destiny. Do we even need an undercover video of them saying this? Joe Biden gives speeches where this is the point. They have the American people, and specifically white people, so kowtowed and beaten down that they can literally look you in the eye and go, we're replacing you. We hate you and your race because you stand up to us. And we're dismantling you and replacing you with people that are more amenable to our exploitation, more willing to allow us a free hand in governance, who don't give a damn about this country or its founding principles.
Right.
And white people sitting there going, I love diversity, though. No, but I'm not a bad one. I'm one of the good whites. Will you be nice to me? And they're just like, no, we don't care if you're good or not. We see your kindness as weakness. And the more you give us, the more we want. Right. The more you try to help us, the more demands we make. And this is never going to end. Never going to end. We realize this. Can we recognize basic, obvious patterns that repeat like a fractal pattern? Day over day, week over week, year over year, decade over decade, century over century. It's the same thing over and over. When are we going to break the cycle? Again, things would be different if we had, an APAC guy that they could go to. And this is the irony. They're supposed to be our guy. They're supposed to be the ones that represent our interests. Instead, they represent their own interests, their own profit, their own power. And part of that process of self-aggrandizement is receiving funds and support from organizations like APAC, who they do actually do things for because they're rewarded with wealth and power and influence. We Americans don't have any wealth or power or influence to offer them, so they ignore us. It just represents how utterly broken our entire system is. The idea is that their power of being in this position, of being a congressman or a senator, is derived directly from us. We give them that power, we hold it over them, and if they don't do what we want, we can take that power away. They're supposed to be looking after our interests because that is supposed to be the source of their power. There is no incentive for them to actually care about us at all. It's a perverse incentive structure that completely inverts the construct of our government.
Wow. Tell me he's wrong. He brought up some very valid points. Now, I like to steer away from the whole racial, like even to talk out on people and pigmentation or whatnot, but how he exposed how they think and they are preying upon others and kind of race baiting. It's just like he was pointing out, we've got to be able to see more clearly the why behind things and the tactics being deployed to achieve their agendas. All right, Ken O'Keefe, he nails it, drops some bombs and makes it very clear. And I believe a while back we actually played this, but it's so powerful and he so clearly highlights, as he says, the head of the snake and how we can fix everything by addressing the head of the snake. We can fix everything. And it's another one of those videos. Tell me, is he wrong? Tell me. So let's give it a listen.
It is very clear that the head of the snake is the financial system. We can argue till the end of time about who runs the world.
Yeah.
Is it the Jesuits? Is it the reptilians? Is it the Illuminati? Is it the Freemasons? We can go on and on and on and on about this. But I don't think it is reasonable to even begin arguing about the mechanism that is used to exert this control.
The mechanism. Right.
The mechanism is finance.
Right.
The whole point of finance is to indebt, otherwise to enslave. What is a mortgage? I mean, what does that stand for? It's a death grip. So when you get a mortgage, you have a death grip held over you because you are in debt. You don't even own the house.
Right.
The bank owns the house that loans you the money to buy the house, unless you're fortunate enough to have all the money to buy it outright. Even then, you can be taxed by the government, and if you fail to keep up with those taxes, the government can then take it from you. The whole system is based on a financial fraud, which effectively takes the power that we have, and it gives it to a tiny group of individuals who are running the world through the control of finance.
Wow. So true. That right there captured it. Why are we allowing those few to be empowered and enriched on our backs? We're giving them our freedom. We're giving them everything. Why? The few. I get it can seem scary because they've built out this grand infrastructure and talking heads and all these things, but not what it really boils down to. Enough. Let's go, people. Education's key.
with the infinite supply of money that we have allowed them to take. They have literally an infinite supply of money, and with that money, and from their psychopathic point of view, they have bought everything and everyone who can be bought. So those of us who cannot be bought, because we operate on a level that goes way beyond the material, we are not rewarded for such behavior. We are punished for such behavior.
It's clear.
And the most slovenly, disgustingly criminal, pedophilia, corrupt moral individuals, those are the ones that are rewarded in this system, which is upside down.
Right.
We reward the pedophiles. We reward the corrupt. We reward the liars. We reward the people with no morals at all. And usually we compromise them under this system in terms of maybe a videotape. Maybe Barack Obama is gay. Maybe we have videotape of him having sex with another man.
Epstein. All interconnected. I gotta zip it. I hate to say it. I'm gonna muzzle myself on Unmuzzled chat. I want to yell. I want to sob. I want to reach through that camera and attempt to smack sense into folks that haven't put in the effort or energy to grasp what in fact is going on and the opportunities we have.
Or perhaps some other acts that may be not so popular amongst many of the electorate. Or maybe we have videos of political leaders having sex with little boys or little girls. If I was in charge of the world and I was a psychopath and completely drunk on my own power, you can bet damn sure that's what I would do. I wouldn't allow anyone in a position of power who wasn't completely compromised.
Right.
When you have an infinite supply of money, you can do this. Take that supply of money away, take that power back, put it in the hands of the people, get rid of fractional reserve banking, which is obscenity in itself. Listen to the lessons of Jesus Christ. If you're a Christian who got really pissed off when he went to the temple and he saw what the money changers were doing, let's take back control of the issuance of money, and not just on a national level. I'm happy to see in Denmark that you have your own currency. You don't have the euro. But on every country's level, they should be issuing their own currency in a transparent, non-usury based way in which it really, truly benefits the people. And in that way, we can literally free ourselves of the banking debt, which is drowning us all.
Yes.
And we can stop scrambling for the crumbs from the table of these filthy rich psychopaths and live in a state of abundance just by changing this one thing. And I'm not just talking about abundance for Western nations who have an artificially inflated value with their currencies. We all in the West are guilty of having that reward while the rest of the world is sucking on it. Every nation in the world can use a sensible financial policy to liberate themselves, to have world-class education, infrastructure, everything that a healthy society would require can be had in the worst, most corrupt African country in any part of the world. We can all have that if we simply change that one thing. John F. Kennedy did that about 6 months before he was taken out. He issued United States notes as opposed to Federal Reserve notes. I can assure you the powers that be knew the power of that act, and they took him right out. So the bottom line is, if we as people understand this very simple principle, just this one thing, change this one thing, we can solve every other problem you can name. I don't care what the problem is. I can bring it back to the financial system and an infinite supply of money for a bunch of psychopaths who are running the world, as opposed to an abundant supply of money for all of us. So in that sense, I'm very optimistic. This is not rocket science. I am not the smartest guy in the room. We can all understand this. And as soon as we do, we can exercise the same power that we had, but relinquish, and we can have a future for ourselves and our children.
So beautifully said. So clearly said. So the question becomes, do you want to take the appropriate action it is in fact going to take to rule out the infrastructure that has stood up this cabal, this two-tiered system, bringing prosperity and wealth and power back to we the people? Or has it not gotten bad enough? It's kind of what it boils down to, doesn't it? I love this man. I want this warrior on the podcast. This is what leadership looks like. And this is a good example for me and for all men in this world today. Let's dive in.
Our tax dollars should never, ever, ever go outside of this country until this country looks like fucking Dubai, where there is no crime, the most beautiful cities, a thriving economy with a thriving middle class, where people aren't taxed to death. Until we get in that position, which those people in Washington will never allow us to be, because when we become that, we are harder to control, we are harder to resist, and they have lost the understanding that they serve us. We do.
Well, as the other gentleman just pointed out, the financial system and APAC, and they're using all these built out infrastructures and ones that, okay, if we can't get you to kiss the Wailing Wall and pledge your allegiance and we can't bribe you in money, then let's get them through blackmail. Let's get them through Epstein. Let's get them through... I mean, there's so many different ways they've gotten clearly really effective. So these people aren't serving us. They're serving foreign freaking entities at this point. So, yeah, we got to cut the head off of the snake and clean freaking house. We can't have anyone that is compromised, as the other gentleman said. Everyone in power seems to be compromised in one way or another. It's so wild to me how evil has been so effective to snare men and women here in the flesh when we're only visiting. We're all visitors. You fools, selling your souls, selling out your brothers and sisters for your moment in time. Very foolish. Sorry, let's keep going.
Do not serve them. Right now, we are serving them, and they are intentionally keeping us impoverished so that they can control this country and stay in power and continue to steal your tax dollars. That's what's going on, and the American people need to stand up against it and fix it once and for all. Our tax dollars should never, ever, ever go outside of this country until this country looks like...
I could just let this replay time and time again because I love the strength in his voice. I even like how he's built like a freaking bulldog and it looks like he's ready for action. And he has action-based words. And it's so far past time. It's wild to look back even in America's history as to how quickly they just swarmed and poisoned the infrastructure and the backbone of this country and fed us a bill of goods as though we all are in control, as though we all even have a choice. I think so much of this whole left and right, it's intentionally built out to even deceive we the people as though we're even have a choice. I believe it's been a selection for freaking ages. I've had enough of that. How about you? Okay, play this one last clip here. The most important one because this is a call to action. So let's go enjoy this clip.
Open borders, shameful abandonment, disregard for human life, the prospect of more mandates and lockdowns, and the list goes on.
Right.
Now, more than ever, we need to stick together. Voting alone is not enough. We must use our dollars to support like-minded companies.
Yes.
Fight for our rights and our beliefs. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. Last year, we gave more than $500,000 to our causes, and with your support, we'll give more than $1.5 million this year. Perfect. It's time to band together and support companies that truly love America and fight for our freedoms.
Yes.
Will you join us?
So you haven't mustered the courage up enough to come here, risk your job. I don't challenge any Christian at this point. In today's day and age, if you're living comfortably, hear me out, then couldn't it be possible you're allowing evil to negatively impact more of God's children? Wouldn't it be possible by you showing up? I mean, biblically, there's so many references. Like, you know what? It's time, especially as Christians, that we start living uncomfortably, that we, in fact, start showing up and pushing back evil, come what may. On behalf of our fellow brothers and sisters, we are all children of God, and facing this level of evil, we must pick up the sword and fight. And there I go on a tangent, but at minimum, Patriot Mobile is a blessing for us all. We really didn't have much options with our providers. So it's like for a long time, so many of us have fed into the corrupt system because what other choice do we have? Well, now we have a choice. You saw it for yourself. They're actively fighting on our behalfs. Check out the link in the description below or call them and simply mention promo code Unmuzzled and they'll take care of you. Information isn't going to hurt you. Clearly, there's a lot of benefits to doing it as well. Just check them out. Personally, I think too many of us are hacked. Too many of us are diminished because no one, let's be real here for a second, no one in the right mind would idly sit by and allow all this to happen. And to be so ignorant or blinded as to things not progressively getting worse is we've exposed in this very episode. It will never stop. It's only going to get worse unless we take the stance. But I feel so many can't take that stance because we've literally been poisoned from childhood vaccine schedules, from flu shots, from our doctors, from big pharma, from food, from water, from the air, from these frequencies, from parasites, molds. So if we don't take our health serious, no wonder we're too weak to do anything about it. And they're just cranking up the pressure more and more. So check out Bond Charge. Get an infrared sauna blanket. Detoxify all that crap from your system. Feel rejuvenated and refreshed. You got to get that out of you. Check out Masterpiece. That miracle tincture I've been talking about. I can't say enough good things about it. I say it's a miracle tincture. I don't think they label it as that, but I'm calling it that because it moved the needle that much for me regarding metals, toxins, and then it's just a bonus that it removes even forever chemicals. Jiminy crickets. Stop poisoning yourself at the fast food joints. We really got to question everything we eat these days and get decent filtration on our homes. Big things are going to happen, folks. Like that gal mentioned, so many of us aren't going to make it. I believe that to be true. Evil's got a lot of things up their sleeves. I personally feel the single greatest preparation you can make is getting an EMP shield on your vehicle. One vehicle at minimum. It could be life-saving to get one for your home as well. Check out the link below. You'll get $50 off every single product you order. Other than that, Freedom merch, Black Eagle apparel, Stand Up Now, just anything and everything you can think of. We must start taking more action. If you found any value to this episode, then wouldn't it be important to just pay this message forward and get it out to the masses? Help us grow. I know we can have that positive impact. I believe I haven't even truly broke out of my shell yet regarding the battle I've been faced with Lyme disease. I could still feel the cognitive disabilities, and I don't know. It's not disabilities for lack of better words, but just limitations. I can't wait to clear all that out. It's clearly a very tough and long road to be on, but I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fired up. I hope you got something from this episode to fire you up as well. Till next time, God bless you. God bless America. Take care.